So in today's video, I'm going to do my 2021 MLB Power Rankings after 80 or so games. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do in today's video. But before I get into this video, 92% of you don't watch these videos are not subscribed. So go ahead, get your life together, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave a like on this video. Let's go ahead and get into this video. At number 30, worst team in baseball, Arizona Diamondbacks. If there's much question into this, then you just don't watch baseball. 26 and 68 right now. They traded Stephen Vogt to the Braves, which I think was just a start of their selling at the deadline. Escobar is probably gone. Peralta might be gone. Marte is probably gone as well. Like, a lot of these guys are gone. Bumgarner, if you can get a trade for him, absolutely. He's one of the worst contracts in baseball, in my opinion. Morel Kelly might be on the move too. I can't see a Zach Gallen being moved, but I could definitely see a Morel Kelly being moved. And Caleb Smith has been pretty decent this year as well. Joakim Soria is a guy that I think is an underrated trade candidate at the deadline, where Soria could be a very, very good piece to a team. But yeah, let's move on to the next team. At number 29, I have got the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles are probably 29 in most people's book as well. The Orioles, they do have some good players on the team, a.k.a. Trey Mancini. John Means, once he comes back, he's been sent on a rehab assignment. But this team, you've got Cedric Mullins as well, who got an All-Star game, which was very good to see. Cedric Mullins is probably a guy they're keeping around for their future, but Mancini, Means, Paul Fry, Tanner Scott could all be gone at the deadline. Like, the Orioles continue to have good pitching every year, and that's very good for them because they're going to get some pieces back for these guys here. And they've got one of the worst contracts in the league in Chris Davis. I think not a lot of people talk about that, but Chris Davis is a bad contract. Bruce Zimmerman, another young guy for them, is on the IL as well. But I mean, you've got a lot of. Actually, this lineup's like pretty good. Like, a lot of, like, on up top, it's not very, very bad with Mullins, Mancini, Mountcastle, Santander. I think it's a little underrated, but still, they're not good at all. They're going to be selling some players at the deadline as well. We'll see what they do at the deadline. At number 28, Kansas City Royals. The Royals, wow, this team is up and down. They start off the season really hot. A lot of people thought that they were actually going to be really good. I didn't think so, but this team has been the definition of runs this year. They just went on a run, and then they've fallen off, and they're 37 and 55 right now, and dead last in the AL Central. I think it's time to start moving on from some of these guys. I think Merrifield has got to go at the deadline. This guy's getting up there in age. He's 32 years old. It's time to probably trade him. Any value for Santana possible, I think, needs to be moved. Hunter Dozier, they signed him to that big extension. Boy, has he been bad. Benintendi might be a guy that they want to keep, and I could totally understand why. He's a free agent in 2023, though. And Benintendi has been playing well of recent. They got him from Boston this offseason, which kind of pulled off robbery in that trade, only giving Franchi Cordero back. 10 home runs for him, 35 RBIs, and a 278 batting average. I think he's having a pretty underrated year. That's actually been a good year for him. In the starting pitching, Danny Duffy has came back now from injury. He's probably going to be one of the most coveted players at the deadline that could be traded. Probably the most coveted for the Royals. But Greg Holland could be a guy that some teams could want with veteran experience as well. Definitely some teams could be interested. Scott Barlow's another guy that could possibly be traded as well. And maybe even a Mike Minor. At number 27, Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates, they got the walk-off grand slam versus the Mets last night at the time of filming this video. But the Pirates are not a good baseball team. Adam Frazier, Richard Rodriguez, Brian Reynolds could all be gone at the deadline. For the Pirates, they're just not a very, very good team at all. They had a very good draft, though, and their future looks really good with Quinn Prester, Nick Gonzalez, O'Neill Cruz. They've got a lot of future guys, Cabrian Hayes and more, but right now it's just not it for the Pirates. They're at number 27. At number 26, Colorado Rockies. The Rockies here have been playing actually decent baseball as of recent. They've been winning more on the road. But we know this team for the Rockies is not good. Marquez is really an underrated player, I think. I was saying he was overrated, but he's kind of proved me wrong. And they've got Story, who's probably the most likely guy to be traded. But for this team, like, there's not a lot of great things to look at. I didn't particularly like their 2021 draft. Their future, not. I mean, their farm system doesn't rank very highly. And yeah. At number 25, Texas Rangers. The Rangers have some trade assets at the deadline. Like their deadline, like they already have a very good farm system, but like their farm system could be boosted up even more with the prospects you could get for a Joey Gallo, a Kyle Gibson, the way they're playing this year. Like this Rangers team is actually in a very, very good spot for the future. And they could get a very, very good prospects back for Gallo. Very, very good prospects back for Gibson as well with how good he's been this year. And a Kennedy could get you somebody good in Kennedy as well. Next at number 24, Minnesota Twins. The Twins have been disappointing all year. The Twins have been the most disappointing team probably in baseball. Now they can talk about their injury excuses as well. Maeda's been on the IL, Buxton's been on the IL, Donaldson's been on the IL. I mean, there's been a lot of guys that have been on the IL for this team as well. But wow, the pitching's bad. The pitching's bad. Barrios, you've never seen. We've never seen what Barrios was supposed to be. Taylor Rogers, this is a guy who could be dealt at the deadline. Alex Kame, that signing is not been good. He's not been even close to his 2020 self, where he posted, I think, a below 1 ERA, and this year is absolutely horrible. Well, not absolutely horrible, but he's got a 5.40 ERA this year. It's not good. Not a good season for the Twins at all. They've got Garver on the IL. You've got Buxton on the IL. You've got Cave on the IL. You've got you've got so many guys on the IL. You've got Buxton on the IL, like I said. Dumbback on the IL. Devin Smeltzer. They've just got so many guys on the IL. They do kind of need a boost to that farm system. Royce Lewis was drafted first overall, I'm pretty sure, back in 2016. But, man, he has been the disappointment so far. Next up at number 23, Miami Marlins. The Marlins have great pitching, but, boy, is their hitting bad. Starling Marte declined a $30 million extension offer from them just as he should have. I don't know why they would offer a guy with the caliber of Starling Marte that little of a contract. That's absolutely crazy to me. They placed Pablo Lopez on the 10-day IL. You've got some exciting players, and they might be the future team of the NL East with how good their farm system is. They have one of the best farm systems in baseball. And number 22, Detroit Tigers. This team's been playing way better as of recently on a 3-game winning streak. 43 and 51 in third place in the AL Central. They're starting to play very, very well, and AJ Hinch is starting to get this team to play really, really, really a lot better than expected for this team, and that's very good. Badu has been a pretty big surprise this year, and I at least always talk about the starting pitching with this team. The starting pitching is really good for the future. It's really, really good. Nico Goodrum is out on the IL. Boyd is out on the IL as well. Turnbull is. Tehran is. Like half their rotation, basically. And Fulmer also is out with an injury. They've got a lot of players on the injured list for them as well, but they're playing above expectations. If you're a Tigers fan, you should be pretty happy right now. At number 21, Washington Nationals. It's been said that Max Scherzer is probably not going to be traded, which I think is beyond crazy. You should have saw that in Monday's video, but yeah, Nationals here, they need to trade these guys. They're so stuck to that core that won them the World Series. It's almost ridiculous. But, Soto and Turner are key pieces, and besides that, it's about it for the Washington Nationals. So, yeah, at number 20, we have the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs are going to be selling. They're going to be a lot lower than this after the trade deadline, I can almost about guarantee you. The Cubs have already traded Jack Peterson to Atlanta and are probably about to trade Chris Bryant and Craig Kimbrell. Those are probably the top two guys that are going to be traded in this Cubs 2021 MLB deadline fire sale. But the Cubs aren't even close this year. I'm glad they're starting to realize that. They have said that they're going to at least try to offer Rizzo and Baez extensions before a possible trade. But, yeah. At number 19, division rival St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals are another team that I think if this team gets some pitching, especially starting pitching, then they could be a team that could possibly get in second place. Like, I don't think they're winning the division. Milwaukee is 7 games ahead right now. There's no way they win the division, I don't think, personally. But Flaherty's out right now. Dakota Hudson's out. Carlos Martinez, Miles Michaelis, like their whole rotation basically is out right now, which is crazy. Well, their bullpen is actually pretty underrated. You've got Giovanni Gallegos, Alex Reyes, who's been really good this year, Andrew Miller. Like, it's a pretty good bullpen for them. But the starting pitching is awful. It's really bad. Paul Goldschmidt's had a down year, another down year. I think we're going to have to start talking about his regression because he's just not been like himself, simple enough. At number 18, Los Angeles Angels. The Angels are might have the two best players in baseball in Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, but still cannot find a way to win. This team needs pitching badly. Ohtani not only is their best hitter right now, but their best pitcher right now. And they have got to start getting some pitching. The pitching is bad. He's actually been good this year, but Cobb's has been bad. Sandoval's been bad. Suarez has been bad. The bullpen could definitely use another arm, 2, 3 maybe even. Rendon has been a huge disappointment since he's been signed. And Trout, he's on the 60-day IL though. It's going to be a while till he's back. It's just a rough year for the Angels, and they considerably really need to think about a Trout trade. I wish they would trade Trout, but they're not going to. I wish they would, is what I meant. But, yeah. Number 17, Atlanta Braves. My favorite team. The Braves, obviously, you have the devastating Ronald Acuna injury, but the starting pitching's been awful, along with the relief pitching being not very good either. They lost to the Rays today at the time of filming this video. But I still want to see this team be competitive. I still would love to see, I'm liking that they're actually making moves and not just totally forfeiting on this season. So I like that. Morton, Fried, Smiley. I mean, Fried's been bad this year, even though he did have a great start the other night versus Tampa last night, actually, at the time of filming this video. The bullpen is bad, like I said, but you've got to talk about the injuries when you talk about with the Braves. I mean, you've got Ozuna, you've got Acuna, you've got d'Arnaud, all on injured or with Ozuna, his crap. And Anderson is on the IL right now. Tucker Davidson, Mike Soroka, Hunsker, basically their whole rotation's on the IL as well. I think that this team really, I didn't like the trade of Stephen Vogt either, because I think that William Contreras should get some time. I think that they really need to let the young players like Christian Pache, Drew Waters too play this year. And yeah. At number 16, New York Yankees. This team has been a huge disappointment as well. I think that this might be something that they need to consider is actually like selling off some of their pieces at the deadline. I think some of those pieces would be a guy like Aroldis Chapman, who has been horrible since the foreign substance thing came out, but maybe he could be better for another team. They traded for Tim LaCastro. He's now on the IL. The whole hitting has been a total disappointment. Sanchez might be the best hitter right now, honestly, which is pretty crazy to say. But I mean, it's ridiculous. The Yankees are bad, and injuries, I guess you could say, do play a big part in that, considering that they have 6 players on the COVID IL right now. But yeah. At number 15, I've got the Cleveland baseball team. The Cleveland baseball team just continues to hang around, even with the White Sox getting a pretty big lead in that division. The Cleveland baseball team is going to hang around, and they're just a team that's going to hang around, basically. They're 47-43 right now, 5-5 in the last 10, 2-game winning streak. They play Houston in their next game, but I mean, Bieber has still not been activated from the injured list. What was his injury? Um, Bieber's injury was a strained shoulder. But yeah, this team's hitting is bad, but the bullpen has been kind of really good this year with Emmanuel Clase, James Karinchak. It's been pretty good this year. The starting pitching's not been good, and obviously we all know about Cleveland's hitting. And next up at number 14, Philadelphia Phillies. Now they're a pretty big riser, and they're starting to play really good baseball. They're the favorites for Byron Buxton if he's available. 47 and 45 right now, only 2 games back. They're going to have to win the division though. Whoever is, I mean, if you're going to make the playoffs, you're going to have to win the division because the Padres and Dodgers have the wild card on lock right now there. And the Phillies, like I said, have been playing a lot better baseball as of recently. And I mean, it's they're starting to actually play very, very good. And the bullpen still is horrible. Like the bullpen is blowing so many saves. You can get a guy like Craig Kimbrell, then you're really, really going to be feeling good. But yeah, at number 13, we have got the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are a team that has been playing a lot better baseball as of recently too. And the Mariners here are 49 and 44 right now, 5 and 5 in the last 10. The Mariners are playing some good baseball. Good baseball. And for the Seattle Mariners, they have J.P. Crawford, who's been pretty good recently, along with Mitch Haniger and Kyle Seager, and they've got and Ty France as well. Kelenic has not been very, very good to start his major league career. And Kikuchi obviously was named as an All-Star this year. Marco Gonzalez, Logan Gilbert, Chris Flexen. Their starting pitching is underrated, and the bullpen ranks as the best in baseball right now, which is very, very good. Their bullpen, if they want to sell pieces at the deadline, they could get some real good pieces back for that bullpen, for some of the pieces in that bullpen. Next up at number 12, Cincinnati Reds. The Reds need some bullpen help. That's the main thing with the Reds. They have got to have some bullpen help. Oh my gosh, is this bullpen awful. But the hitting's very, very good with Winker, Castellanos. Eugenio Suarez has to be better in the second half. He can't be any worse. India's starting to pick it up. I mean, this team is got a lot of hitting, but the pitching, Castilla started off the season as the worst pitcher in baseball, but has really gotten his act together. Sonny Gray really has not been healthy at all this year. Miley's had an underrated season, and Miley has had a underrated season as well. But like I said, the bullpen needs help. Next up at number 11, we have got the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are a team that I think they are really, really scary if they get some starting and relief pitching, but that's going to be awfully hard to do. Get both of those, but wow, is their lineup so good for the pitching to be this bad. Simeon, Bichette, Guerrero. It's kind of underrated that they're going to have to pay Simeon after this year, but that's going to be a pretty big contract to pay. Springer, who's not been healthy very much, but Hernandez, Grichuk, Biggio, even though he's been disappointing. I mean, wow, their hitting is good, but boy, is their pitching bad, especially with the bullpen. The bullpen's awful. The bullpen is really, really bad. It's bad. It is bad. Now, half their bullpen basically is on the injured list with a certain type of injury. But Ray, Ryu, Matz, their starting rotation, Matz was really good. But Ryu is obviously going to be there, and Ray has been there this year, but besides that, it's questionable in any sort of pitching. Number 10, New York Mets. The Mets continue to pitch well with Stroman, Walker, and DeGrom at the start of that rotation. But, oh my, the hitting is just not there. The hitting is not there. DeGrom has been placed on the IL, same thing with Lindor. And, I mean, this team's hitting has just not been there this year. Alonso won the home run derby, obviously, but he has not been he's not been doing it either this year. He's been hitting some home runs, but he's not been the greatest either. And yeah, Conforto had a really bad first half. And yeah, their starting rotation is depleted right now with just Miguel, Walker, and Stroman in that rotation. But the pitching is keeping them up to beat, and that's why they're leading. That's why they're leading the the NL East. And good news for Mets fans that Carlos Carrasco is on a rehab assignment with their single-A advanced team. Number 9, San Diego Padres. The Padres, their rotation is depleted as well right now with Blake Snell being on the injured list and more. So for the Padres here, they need another bat. Joey Gallo's been rumored a lot. I would love to see Joey Gallo on this team. I think that would be good. But Darvish is on the IL right now. Snell's on the IL. Or Snell's not on the IL. Never mind. But Musgrove is there as well, and Paddock. But Darvish is likely to be activated from the IL pretty soon. The bullpen is pretty good as well. So, yeah. Also, Noel is going to come back hopefully soon. He's got a sprained knee. I'm not sure what the significance of that injury is. But for the Padres, they need Lamet back. They need Darvish back. They need some help with the pitching back. And, yeah, you've got Tatis, Cronenworth, and Machado there, and Grissom. But you really could use another bat there. You really could. Next up at number 8, Oakland Athletics. The Athletics are looking for bullpen help at the deadline, according to, I don't remember what his name is. But for the Athletics here, your hitting is pretty good. There's been rumors of Nelson Cruz as well, possibly to Oakland. And there's been rumors of Craig Kimbrell to Oakland as well. But for the hitting, you've got Matt Olson, who has had a really underrated year. People need to start talking about Matt Olson, Mark Canha, and some of these guys that are on the Athletics that just never are really talked about. Now, Chapman has had a down year this year. Andrews, though, has been horrible. He's been the worst shortstop in baseball this year, I'm pretty sure. Or I know he's been bad, but I don't know if he's statistically the worst shortstop, but he's been bad. Like I said, Chapman's had a down year offensively. The defense is always going to be there with Chapman. And the bullpen could use some help, even though the bullpen does have some pretty good arms in there, like Diekman, Romo, Trevino, Petit even, who pitches a lot for this team. As far as the starting pitching goes, Bassett, Irwin, Manaea, Montas, it's decent as well. And yeah. They could definitely use a Trevor Rosenthal right now. They picked up in the offseason, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to play this year. Tampa Bay Rays are at number 7 after winning a series versus the Braves. Or not winning a series, but never mind. But at number 7, Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays are playing very, very good baseball, as they have continued to do all year. And they're 55-38 right now, 8-2 in the last 10 on a one-game winning streak here. Brujan has been called up along with Franco and Arozarena. This lineup is like if they can play up to how they play up to what these prospects really say they are, like with Franco and Walls in their first year, then this team, that lineup is actually really, really good. Not to mention that you have 2 All-Stars in this lineup with Zunino and Wendell, or Joe Wendell. I can't speak. The rotation definitely needs some upgrades. Yarbrough's good. Hill's good. McClanahan's good. Waka and Fleming did not have a good start last night versus the Braves. The bullpen's always going to be there with Kittredge, Fairbanks, Castillo, even with them not having the best closer in Nick Anderson, who's probably going to come back pretty soon. And Jalen Beeks is out as well. He'll be out for the rest of the year. And yeah, Glasnow's going to come back probably before the end of the season. And Chris Archer and Yanni Torino, or I think it was Yanni Torino, are both on rehab assignments as well. At number 6, we have got the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox here. The White Sox they were kind of on a downhill for a little bit, but they're 56-36 right now with a comfortable 8-game lead in the AL Central, 7-3 in their last 10 on a 2-game winning streak. So for Chicago right now, we all know about the pitching. Even though some of their pitching is or was injured, they're still good now. They agreed to a 2-year, $38 million extension offer with Lance Lynn, which is huge. But you've got Lynn, Rendon, Giolito, Keuchel. That could be 4 aces in a rotation. The bullpen as well with Aaron Bummer, Liam Hendricks, Garrett Crochet, Michael Kopech, a lot of their lineup is injured with Yasmani Grandal, Nick Madrigal, Eloy Jimenez, who's on a rehab assignment right now, and Luis Robert, who I think will be back. But yeah, the lineup's still good without those guys, and when those guys come back, they're going to be even more dangerous. At number 5, the Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers at number 5. The Brewers here, they are one of the most dangerous teams, I think, when it comes to playoff time. With Burns, Peralta, and Woodruff at the top 3 of that rotation, not to mention the back end of that bullpen with Williams and Hader and Suter and all of them. That's, even though Williams has been placed on the 10-day IL, but he'll be back. But they really need another bat here. Adames has been their best hitter since trading for him from the Rays. That was a great trade. Great trade. Narvaez is underrated as well. And Yelich, though, we've got to put him on slump watch. I mean, he just really has not been able to get out of this slump. He's got to get out of this slump, especially the Brewers need him a lot. They have a comfortable 8-game lead in the Central as well. At number 4, Houston Astros. You put a guy like Craig Kimbrell on this team, and this team is the World Series favorite, in my opinion, with all the good hitting that they have with Jordan, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, who's going to be coming back, Carlos Correa. I mean, you've got a ton of hitting. Michael Brantley, Yuli Gurriel, Kyle Tucker, Miles Straw. Do you want me to keep naming names? I doubt it. The starting rotation is very good as well with Greinke, Garcia, McCullers, Odorizzi, and Valdez. And the bullpen, though, does need quite a bit of help, in my opinion. Coming in at number 3, Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers here kind of need an arm right now. They do need an arm. I don't know who that arm is, but whoever that arm is, I think they need a starting pitcher right now. And I think they could use a bullpen arm as well. A guy like Ian Kennedy could be a guy that they could look at. But we know all about the starting lineup with Betts, Muncy, who had a great night last night, Turner, Smith, Bellinger, Taylor, Pollock, and Lux. You've got Buehler, Urias in that rotation, but Price and Gonsolin really are not. I mean, Gonsolin is, but Price is not really a starter. And the bullpen could use another arm, like I said. And Kershaw is going to be out for a minute now. He's going to be out for a little bit. And yeah. Next up at number 2, San Francisco Giants. The Giants, I don't think, are the best team in baseball. I still think that they could use an upgrade in the bullpen. But boy, has this team been the most surprising team in baseball by far this year. I mean, the Red Sox is a huge surprise too. But the Giants at number 2, nobody expected that coming into the season. The Giants' rotation has been great with Gausman, Wood, DeSclafani, Cueto. I mean, it has been really good, the rotation has. Like I said, another arm in the bullpen would be good, but the hitting it's been working. Even though a lot of some of their hitters have been placed on the injured list. But still, you've got Crawford, who has had a really big bounce back season. Posey as well has had a bounce back season. Solano's pretty good as well. And Yastrzemski as well. And at number 1, I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox. I think that they're the best team in baseball right now. The Red Sox have Matt Barnes in that bullpen, Adam Ottavino. Yes, they still could use an upgrade in that bullpen, but still, the hitting is absolutely fantastic with Bogaerts, Devers, all those players that you have there. With, like I said, Bogaerts, Devers, Verdugo, Martinez, Renfroe. I mean, Duran, who they just called up. Like, this team's lineup is absolutely stacked, and they even have Bobby Dahlback coming off the bench, which tells you how good their lineup is. You've got Rodriguez, who I think will definitely be better in the second half, along with Evaldi, who was an all-star this year, Pivetta, who's been good, Richards has been pretty solid as well. And, yeah, the Red Sox are the best team in baseball, in my opinion, right now. And Chris Sale's going to come back. Who knows how good it'll be, but still. Yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because, like I said, 92% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So go ahead, get your life together, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a like. Thank you for watching, and peace.